Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. There has been an uptick in COVID-19 cases in Massachusetts, so some of the rules and regulations are changing for entertainment venues. It's unfortunate, but COVID-19 seems to have a mind of its own. This episode will discuss the new rules, as well as some fascinating histories on an art museum and a local college. First, it's time for this week's trivia question, which will be answered at the end of the show. This week's question is, which Oscar-winning filmmaking brother duo began their education at Bard College at Simon's Rock in Great Barrington? Now, for this week's local entertainment headlines. On August 11th, Governor Charlie Baker changed the number of people allowed at outdoor gatherings from 100 to 50. This was due to an uptick in Massachusetts COVID-19 cases, with large crowds gathering in dangerous amounts without masks. This new order requires people to wear masks at events where more than 10 people from different households will be mixing. Events that violate the rules will face fines or cease and desist orders. Exemptions to this rule currently include schools, hospitals, government buildings, and polling places. Governor Baker's new rules has also led to the suspension of Phase 3, Step 2, which will allow more indoor facilities to reopen. As stated previously on WWHEN, Massachusetts will not be moving towards Phase 4 until there is a vaccine for COVID-19, which seems highly unlikely for the rest of 2020. WWHEN is committed to bringing the latest news on the reopening of Massachusetts. The new limit on outdoor gatherings has created new challenges for Barrington Stage Company and Berkshire Theatre Group, which were the first two theater companies to produce plays under the Actors' Equity Association since COVID-19. Theater and outdoor performance venues must comply with Governor Baker's order without exception. As of right now, shows are still going on, but there will be a reduced limit, although both companies expressed concerns about limiting patrons. Barrington Stage Company recently finished their scheduled performances of the one-man show Harry Clark as planned. Now, the Rodgers and Hammerstein show is approaching and will run from August 19th through the 29th. Please note that tickets for Rodgers and Hammerstein are very limited, so visit Barrington Stage Company's website for more information. However, with Governor Baker's orders, this could be affected. Barrington Stage applied for an exemption waiver for 100 people, but were rejected. Artistic Director Julianne Boyd expressed frustration with Governor Baker's decision, especially when companies like Barrington Stage are taking more precautions than most entertainment facilities. She stated in part, quote, "This is a cultural event in Pittsfield, not a big private party on Cape Cod. There is a difference between a social gathering in which many people are moving about freely, many of them unmasked, and a performance in which people are required to wear masks, whose temperatures are taken as they come in, and then they sit at a safe social distance." End quote. Barrington Stage is now in a predicament of having to accept only certain ticket holders. Boyd said that Barrington Stage has not decided that step yet, but added, quote, "Of course, we will give refunds if necessary. We are hoping that patrons will donate the price of tickets or accept credit for future productions." End quote. Berkshire Theatre Group was more quiet when discussing their plans for Godspell, which has a 75-person audience limit and 12-person cast. They said only in a brief statement, quote, "We will also meet the requisite capacity reduction levels in close cooperation with the local health department." End quote. They did not elaborate on whether it had applied for a waiver from the gatherings limit, if it planned to change its performance schedule, or how it would respond if a show reached the 50-person limit and more ticket holders arrived. As of right now, the show is still running until September 4th. However, tickets are extremely limited. Stay tuned to WWHEN for updates. I tried to reach out to both companies, but they did not respond to my questions due to the difficult situation they are currently facing. On August 29th, John Wolfe and his band Huck could be performing at Mass Mocha, but with Governor Baker's outdoor gatherings order, that could very well change. John Wolfe is a Brooklyn-based singer along with his band Huck. They are known for their funk and soul music influenced by the 60s and 70s. Their last album, self-titled Huck, came out in 2018. Huck could be playing August 29th at Courtyard D at 8:30 p.m. Tickets will be limited, and you must purchase them online at Mass Mocha's website. They will cost $25 in advance and $35 at the door, if they have door sales. All audience members must wear masks during the entire show. The concert would be held outside, and patrons would have to bring their own chairs. After purchasing tickets online, you would have to either bring the printed version or the e-ticket to the concert for scanning. Restrooms are adjacent to Courtyard D, with one-way entrances and exits. The concert would not be affected by rain, but the COVID-19 rules and regulations, especially after Governor Baker's order, could change everything. Check Mass Mocha's website for updates. The Clark Art Institute and Museum is currently open to the public, although it is only allowing advanced time tickets and reservations for visiting. Currently, 3 major exhibits are showing. The first is Velo Revello by artist Pia Camille. This contains large-scale sculptures made out of different fabrics, garments, and textiles. Camille's pieces deal with questions of public and private space and artistic invention. The second exhibit is Lines from Life. This exhibit contains work from the 19th century French figures drawing movement, which set the tone for artwork for many decades to come. The third exhibit on display is Arrival of the Animals from Lynn May Said. This combines traditional and non-traditional art methods to focus on the lives of animals and how the power structures between multiple species occur. All of these exhibits are running for long periods of time, so there is no need to rush to see the exhibits. The Clark Art Museum is open every Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is $20, except for members and children under 18, who can get in for free. You must purchase your tickets online. To do so, visit the website shown here and then click on Buy Admission Tickets. You will then select your date and be shown a list of available time slots. You must then click on the 1-hour time slot that you want to purchase your tickets. Regal Cinemas still has plans to open on August 21st, although the Lanesboro one is still up in the air, especially with Governor Baker's announcement about limited gatherings. In addition, Beacon Cinemas in Pittsfield plans to open up on the 21st as well, although what movies it will be playing are still questionable. If everything goes as planned, the movie Unhinged will be the first new movie to open in their theaters. Unhinged is an action horror film that deals with something all too common in today's society: road rage. It stars Russell Crowe, Jimmy Simpson, Gabrielle Bateman, and Karen Pistorius, and is rated R. I already talked about this movie on my July 8th episode, when Regal and Beacon had already planned to open. When that got moved, so did Unhinged's release date. With COVID-19, dates are getting changed around like crazy, so the August 21st premiere date is questionable at best. Stay tuned to WWHEN for more information. It's now time for this week's history portion of WWHEN. Our first stop this week is the Williams College Museum of Art. This is currently closed to the public until further notice. According to its website, they are working with Williams College to determine when the best possible time to reopen the museum would be. However, patrons can view public art outside the museum and on its vast website. Visit artmuseum.williams.edu to view all the pieces currently at the museum. In 1838, Williams College founded the Williams Art Association. The mission of this was to seek the donation of art and exhibition space. The first major art was donated from Eliza Peterfield, who donated her entire husband's collection to the college. Williams struggled to find a home for all this art until 1926, when it transformed a former library and one of the college's oldest buildings into the Lawrence Art Museum. It was originally named after merchant, manufacturer, and self-made millionaire Amos Lawrence, who contributed funds to the construction. It officially opened on April 19, 1927, with the help of art professor and William alumnus Carl E. Weston. During World War II, the museum stored a significant number of art pieces from the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, helping preserve decades of artwork. Also during World War II, two Williams alumni, Charles Parkhurst and Lane Faison, were part of the group the Monuments Men, which helped recover and protect artwork from some of the war-affected areas in Europe. Both Parkhurst and Faison eventually became Williams College of Art Museum directors, and their World War II heroics were honored at the museum in 2014. The same year, the story of the Monuments Men was turned into a feature film directed by George Clooney. In 1962, the museum changed its name to the Williams College Museum of Art to give it more of a relationship with the college. By 1976, the museum was in desperate need of an expansion. This construction took 10 years and included classrooms for Williams students, offices and storage, and a climate control system. A major artist that helped was Saul Lewitt, whose famous wall drawing perspectives are a collaboration between the museum, Mass MoCA, and the Yale University Art Gallery in Connecticut. Today, the Williams College Museum of Art contains almost 14,000 pieces of art, and it is still rapidly growing. Our second history location is the Bard College at Simon's Rock in Great Barrington. This is one of the most unique colleges in the country. According to its website, it is an early college designed for students who are ready to start college immediately after the 10th or 11th grade. Upon graduation after 2 years, students can earn an associate's degree, or they can stay 2 more years to earn a Bachelor's of Arts degree. It is the only accredited 4-year early college in the United States. Bard College at Simon's Rock was originally just called Simon's Rock. The college's founder was Elizabeth B. Hall. She had worked as a girls' school headmistress for many years, and from her experience, felt that the first 2 years of college were repetitious and boring. In an interview late in her life, Miss Hall said, quote, "Students are told what to do in a high school and college from the time they arrive in the morning until they go home in the afternoon. This is not a very good proving ground for young adults trying to learn responsibility," end quote. So, in 1964, she came up with the idea to create a college for students who are ready early. She named it Simon's Rock, after a rocky outcropping on the 200-acre campus where Miss Hall played as a child. 2 years later, the first class was admitted. It was originally planned as an all-female school, but in 1970, the school decided to go co-ed. Simon's Rock struggled in its early years, like many colleges in the 60s and 70s, with its low admission numbers. It turned to the president of Bard College in Annandale-on-Hudson, New York, Leon Botstein, for assistance. Botstein understood Elizabeth Hall's method, as he entered the University of Chicago at the age of 16. In 1979, Simon's Rock became part of Bard College, and the two colleges have worked together ever since. The partnership helped Simon's Rock financially and has shaped many intellectual minds. Some of the alumni who have graduated from Bard College at Simon's Rock have included cartoonist and graphic novelist Alison Bechtel and fashion designer / film director Tom Ford. Another pair of graduates supply the answer to this week's trivia question. As a reminder, this week's question was, which Oscar-winning filmmaking brother duo began their education at Bard College at Simon's Rock in Great Barrington? The answer is the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan. Both brothers graduated high school early before attending Simon's Rock. After their graduations, they both went to high-level colleges. Joel to New York University and Ethan to Princeton. Their films have received a combined 48 Academy Award nominations and 7 victories. Some of the Coen brothers' most famous films include Raising Arizona, Fargo, No Country for Old Men, and the remake of True Grit. That ends this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. You can watch this week's episode on PCTV Channel 1301, CTSB TV Channel 1301, and NBC-TC Channel 1301. Air times on all 3 of these networks vary. Visit the websites shown here for more information. Thank you.